looking to make a start in any particular venture or business, property or otherwise, I mean, from your experience and things that you've gone through, what would you say are the sort of key things that they should think about in terms of challenges that they might face and how to actually sort of tackle those? What would be your key lessons over the years of your experience?
I found when I've done or when I've looked at what I want to do long term, it becomes easier to do what you're doing short term. So if you look at or have a 5-year or a 10-year or a 15-year plan, it becomes easier to do what you're doing today. So if you're looking at where you want to be in, say, for instance, 5 years, you can work backwards and then see whether it's doable or not. If you just think that I'm going to do this and it's going to go in these, it's easier to actually work backwards than it is forwards. So, set up your plan. In 5 years' time, I want my business to be here. And how do I make it get there? And then look at, can you put in that time and effort? Because usually it's the first few years which are the most difficult. But if you can see where you're aiming to get to, then it becomes easier to actually get there. Because a lot of people, when they start, the first thing they start out saying is, I need. Right? I need to have this and I need to have that. And by saying that, they automatically stop themselves in their tracks. Because what they need is usually for today. And it's not for 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line. If you sacrifice today and wait for that delayed gratification, majority of the time, it will actually be a lot better off for you.
Wow. So how that long-term vision or goal that you're pursuing, isn't it? And then, like you said, break it down to what is it that you're doing today that is taking you towards that goal. So you stay focused and on track.
Yeah. Most businesses in the first few years don't make very much money. And that's the survival stage. If you can survive those few years and get yourself to the position where it's flourishing, then you'll do well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what about for people who they are probably in either an overwhelmed or confused state in the sense of what can they do? How can people discover that? Because not everyone is going to be, a property person or this and that. How can they get to realize what they can do, if anything at all?
It's probably best by hanging around or speaking to other people within the industries that they're looking at. So I'll probably emphasize it more about property because that's the area that I'm mainly in. If you network with other people, you can find what other people are doing and see what resonates with you, and would you be able to do it. There's no point in trying to set up an SA if you're not going to be putting that type of time and effort in. Right? If you don't like dealing with tenants, there's no point in setting up a management company.
Right?
If you're afraid of doing construction, there's no point in going into development. So these things, hang around with people or network with people and find your common ground and find what resonates with you. If it doesn't resonate with you or you don't think you can do it, you probably shouldn't be doing it. Speak to other people and find your strategy. So if you are definitely going to go down the route of property, you have a personality, you have a limited amount of time, you have a limited amount of money, you have a limited amount of knowledge. So you need to find which strategies work. So you might start off with one and it can change as you go because both your money will change, your knowledge will change, and the amount of time you have will also change. So what you start off with may not be what you're going to be doing in 3 years' time. But it's probably best for you to start off with what you can do, what resonates with you. And it might not be that you're going to be doing property, by the way. It might not be, you might turn around and say, you know what, this isn't for me. I want to set up an eBay business or I want to set up an Amazon business. It might be something totally different. Maybe that I have the money, I don't have the time and knowledge, but I know somebody else that has, but I also wouldn't mind doing some type of JV and a profit share. And there's plenty of people that are in that position that can do that. They can do that. Or even better, what I'm currently doing is earn and learn. So if that's what you want to do, but you don't have the knowledge, you can either go and pay for the knowledge, whether it's be courses, mentoring, books, that path, or you can do a JV with somebody, which you can see the full process from A to Z, how it works, and then still at the end you've earned something. If it works for you, you can go and do it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think picking up on the key messages you're saying there. I think for you to be sort of inspired in whatever you're doing, and for you to last the course in a way that when there's challenges, because to be honest, business is not necessarily easy. I mean, even your property and all of this, it's not all easy. But if it's something that you're inspired by, that's where you enjoy the challenges, because you then last the course, isn't it? Because this is an area that I'm actually writing about as to how people get started. So you have to look at what are your values, what are the things that you like to do, what are the things that you enjoy, and if you can link those with it's almost monetizing your passions with what you want to do in the future, then when the challenges are there, you're actually enjoying them. I mean, imagine for you, you find a property and, maybe it's in a worse state or whatever it is. You're probably rubbing your hands saying this, I will enjoy splitting this or doing this in a particular way, whereby for someone who is not a property person, they'll be like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Oh, I can't do this. I've lost all my money and all of this. But you look at it differently if it's something that that inspires you and it's linked to, what drives you and motivates you. So that's quite key as well, So good to know. So how has the pandemic affected the way that you're sort of conducting business or your the outlook, either of the economy and everything else that's happening? I mean, what has been the impact? Because with everything that happens, people look at things different way, either as an opportunity or something else that will actually, or break them down or something. What has been your view and experience around the difficulties of the pandemic?
Well, with the pandemic, for a lot of people, it's been hard. It's been difficult.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it's been one of my busiest times. Maybe apart from 1 year in my life when I bought majority of my properties. Other than that, it's been one of my most busiest times, both personal development in terms of pushing my business forward. And the reason I say pushing my business forward, knowing that the opportunities are going to be there. There's no point in waiting. So I had a 24-month of how I wanted my business, how to prepare up. And I brought it all forward because I know there's lots of opportunities out there. So during this pandemic, there are going to be people that are going to lose. There are people that are going to gain. That's just how it happens. It's not going to be the same as previous recessions, I don't feel. It's going to be a major shift. So there's going to be a major shift in wealth. And you just got to prepare yourself up and put yourself in the position where you can take advantage of that. You're not trying to take advantage of people. You're taking advantage of the situation. And I work mainly on win-win situations. That's what I prefer to do. So I don't buy property because I want to buy property. I buy property because I can solve somebody else's problem. And if it's done in a way which is a win-win situation for both of us, it benefits both. So I'm not trying to buy a property 25-30% on below market value and then leaving the person in a really dire position. That's not the type of thing I like to do. It's got to be in a win-win for both of us. So during this pandemic, I've been super busy. I've been doing lots of networking still over Zoom. I've been carrying out a lot more. So the meetings would normally been over coffees or going to central London, meeting up. Actually, because I'm doing on Zoom, I'm doing more of them per day than I was doing previously. So it has been very busy. It has been definitely very busy. And outlook, if you are looking to expand and doing something and you're positioning yourself correctly, a few years is definitely an opportunity.
Yeah, and that's the key you say there about looking at the opportunities, where you can actually add that value for people, and also leverage yourself in terms of taking advantage of what's around. Because obviously with lockdown, you can't travel, depending on the restrictions available, you can't meet people, but you can then leverage technology like the Zoom and all of that, those kind of things. And that can actually give you opportunities to reach the masses as well. A lot more people, like, maybe an online program or something that you can sell online, and you're leveraging yourself in terms of people can watch it wherever they are, and you can reach the masses in terms of that. So it's all that thinking of what people can do actually. So yeah. It's good to see. Good to see. So the time that, because you mentioned you were like retired for was it 10 years or something? Was that
10 years?
How did that happen? What was that? Was that planned, or did you just wanted to take time off? What was the view?
Okay, so I'd set myself a five-year goal of, if I could hit my financial freedom figure, I'm going to basically stop investing. I don't want to carry on taking on mortgages and paying interest. So this was one of the things. So I set myself a target. In 5 years, I'll be able to achieve my financial freedom figure. Unfortunately, I didn't do it in 5 years. I fortunately did do it in 1. So after 1 year, as I'd hit my financial freedom figure, I thought, I'm not going to keep on changing the goalposts. I'm not going to keep on changing it, to a higher figure or more properties.
Well,
this is our properties that I'm comfortable with. This is the amount of properties that I can comfortably manage, and it gives me pretty much basically freedom to do what I needed to do. So I decided that's where I'm going to stick with it. And at that time, also my first daughter was born. So it was I did during that 10 years. I did do other jobs. I set up a maintenance company. I helped a big housing association set up a lot of rent, what you call it, HMOs, rent HMOs. So I was doing a lot of that. So showing them how to partition properties to maximize the properties. So I did do a lot of that, but it wasn't the same as what I enjoyed, which was structuring deals. So my youngest went to nursery, decided I've got more time on my hands. I spent plenty of time with my kids, watched them growing up, helped out. Well, I'm going to go back to doing what I enjoyed most, and that is basically structuring deals.
The structure, cool. That's great. So, what about like the next 5 years, or what's your plan and vision now? Then looking ahead to the next few years.
Well, next 5 years, definitely I'm going to be growing the portfolio. So that's one of the things. And it's more now helping other people, teaching other people. So one of the things I do is I run PPN Stratford. So we have a lot of people that do come. We network, because one of the things that you do need to do in property is network. If you have a problem or a solution, you need to be networking with other people to be either offering the solution, or if you've got a problem, finding the solution from other people within your network. And one more thing that I am setting up is a course. It's an online course on finding your strategy. So this hopefully will be it's in progress. It will be available in the new year in 2021. So it's not like all of the other courses that are out there at the moment. There's plenty of courses, but you have to find your own strategy. So this isn't actually giving you a strategy or teaching you the strategy. It's basically outlining what you should be starting with, or what you could be starting with. So rather than spending lots of time going to different places, seeing lots of people present you different types of strategies, and then choosing, I want to do this. This is more focused on what is your background, what is your what do you have available to you in terms of time, money, what is your skill sets, and which ones would probably be best for you to start with now. And if you want to obviously change, even if you're already in property, and you didn't know which ones you should be doing next, which ones you be doing next. So it gives you more of a pathway of least resistance to get to where you
to get to. No, that's great. That's great. That should be good, because people, in most cases they need that guidance, because otherwise the field can be overwhelming, because there's a lot out there. I mean, in property itself, there's so many different strategies, so many things that you can do. I mean, if you're following an income strategy, you can have rent to rent, or just buy to lets, or HMOs, or all sorts. So it's the capital strategy. You can be doing like office to resi and all sorts. So for people to actually get to decide and find what is the area that they need to do, sometimes people get stuck with that, and your offering could actually help people with that as well. So that should be a good offering for people. So just as we get towards the end, what do you think is the role of training or mentorship or things for people if they wanted to, in whatever venture that they're doing? Would you encourage that? Because sometimes, how do you pick the right ones and all this, considering there's a lot out there which can overwhelm people?
Again, it's really down to your personality type. If you learn by, or you're very good at learning just off of reading, some people are perfect at just buying a book, reading it, and implementing it. Some people need a little bit more visual, so they can watch something that might be online or on video, and they can do that. Others need a bit of classroom or interaction with the teachers and other people, their peers. And again, then you have mentorship as well. So it really depends on where you are and what type of help you need and what type of help helps you the most. And then you take it from there. Obviously, books is like the cheapest and it's the easiest to start with. Mentorship is probably the most expensive, as in per hour of a person's time. But you will find if you're aiming for that top 1%, or you want to get to that top few percentages, you are most probably looking at going through mentorship. So, mentorship, you may not find everything with one mentor. You may have to use a few different mentors. If you are aiming for high achievements and you want to get into the top few percentiles, you are going to need mentorship from a few different people. Okay, great. That's been quite useful, actually. Motiul, sharing your story and your experience to the people on the podcast as well, listening. So, if people wanted more information or to find you or the PPN, and how would people find you or get in touch with you? Okay, so I'm available on LinkedIn and Facebook. I've only just recently started using Instagram, so I'm not so social media savvy. I know my background is in IT, but I wasn't on any social media. So I'm available on Facebook with my name Motiul Islam. On LinkedIn, my name again on there is Motiul Islam. And if you want to come to PPN, we're available. PPN Bradford, you can go to Progressive Property Networks. .co.uk, and you can book onto that. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm available on Messenger. I'm more than happy to help people find their path, especially when it's to do with property. That's brilliant. And I guess with the pandemic and the restrictions, the PPN has been on Zoom, isn't it? For the is that probably likely to be the case for the next few sessions, do you think? I think it will be until we've got until the vaccine has actually had an effect and brought the numbers down. I think we are going to be over Zoom. It's very difficult at the moment. Even the venue that I've got is not open, so we just can't do in person.
Brilliant. No, Motiul, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. I've enjoyed having a chat, understanding your experience and the things you've managed to do. So I'm sure, quite a lot of our listeners will be inspired with your story and probably, reach out if they need any additional information. So thank you very much again for speaking to us, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate asking me to come on.
Absolutely, no, it's been good because you've been ESA, because we were doing the ESA together as well, isn't it? So
that's right. Yeah.
Another venture that you've been doing as well in terms of public speaking. So yeah, it's good. I'm sure we'll meet up again and we'll catch up soon. We'll probably see you at PPN as well and ESA, and we'll keep in touch. I'm sure at some point we'll probably collaborate on something as well. So it's good to create these networks. This is what this podcast is all about, because you never know where the next opportunities come from. Some people will be listening to this podcast and this guy, I like this guy, and contact you, and never know what comes up. So it's really good to link up, and it was really great of you to agree to come and speak to us. So I really appreciate that. So we'll speak soon, and thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, cheers.
Yeah, Alex.
Bye. Bye.